Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Hi, Cheryl.
I gotta figure this out. They changed something here. I'll have to back out. I can't figure it out now. Did an update. Um, this is Zoomy. Um, okay, let me see here. Am I on? Still here?
Yeah, I can hear you. A lot of people are muted still. Hi, Matthew.
Oh, I'll
Hey
just
there,
hope for the
everybody.
best. I'll just hope for the best here. Okay.
I'm trying to find how to mute. It's not giving me that.
Yeah, I used to have a little button thing, it's real easy, but now I did an update and it's all different.
Yeah, well, it doesn't, it's giving me backgrounds and video filters and avatars, but it's not giving me the other part to.
Yeah, it used to be real easy. Now I don't know what happened here. Oh, here's what now it's here. It says mute, unmute. Okay, now it shows up a little microphone.
See, now mine isn't coming up. Fine. I'm gonna have to back and see if I can find it that way.
You're right, mine's
Wow.
on the very bottom. It's on a little bunch of
Before
dots.
we have, sorry.
Normally mine is on the very bottom, but it's not doing it today.
Yeah, I know now it's there. For me, now it's there. It's got, video, participate, chat and everything. I did the first dot, but it wasn't there. Now it is.
See, now I can't even find mine.
Yeah, I don't know where it
See.
here. No, I can't see anything.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go out.
Um, oh, I don't understand this at all. Oh, well, let's leave it. Mm. Mhm.
So folks were worried that we wouldn't have a quorum, and we've got a quorum right here on Zoom, looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is here. Yep. Let's see, where's my pen?
So is anybody physically at the club?
I'm not there yet.
No.
I'm out
I
of
can,
town.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, so it appears there are at least 6 people currently at the club. And I need to get them my keys so that they can get in. So I'll be doing that. All right, my keys are on their way to the club. And there's a discussion going on in leadership chat. Just getting everybody together. I'll just work on the agenda.
Matthew, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
You just wanted for my report was just like the deposits, attendance, and dauber sales, right?
Yeah,
Okay. I just want to make sure I had everything.
yeah, that's all that I know of. We'll find out if we need more, but if somebody wanted more, they should have said so before now. So if we want more, we'll tell you for next time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, my keys are on the way and I've been trying to work on the agenda, but there's not much to put on there. If anybody has anything that belongs in the agenda, please drop it in the chat. I'm gonna call John Becker and see how things are going at the club. Okay. I see that in the chat there, Sally. That's a very good thing to put into the agenda. I believe that'll be part of the events committee report. What was that, the 5th and 6th? Something else in the chat. Yes, August 5th and 6th. All right, so I've got that on the agenda. See Susie Mapes. So you're still creating your tablet. Asking you for a password.
And what happened was an organization that wanted to, promote this area around here. They developed an improvement club, and that wanted to make the area better. And what they did was they purchased a half acre of land, and they were starting to build a club on that half acre of land. Well, it just happened that was about the time that we entered World War II. They hadn't got it all built, and then what happened is they,
Susie, are you there at the club? It sounds like I can hear John Becker.
yeah, Susie's getting in there, getting an extension cord. She's getting an
Okay.
extension cord.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
but what happened?
And
They got the WPA, which is the work, either the CCC or the work WPA, and they built this, had them build this for them in the 30s. And then what happened is then when the 40s came, there was a need to use this to house soldiers that were, one time they used balloons to protect the shipyard from getting bombed. So if you go, that's probably I can name about a half a dozen different, I know these 4 places where there's big concrete 4x4 squares with an anchor on top of them that would hook out the balloon, and they put steel cables up and up, several thousand feet, and that was to prevent anybody from flying Japanese planes from flying in here. So they had those strategically placed all around the city, and so they had a group of Army guys that were here, and that's all this all got given back to the West Side Group Club, and so then it was, and that's when they decided to go back up and add bingo as a way to raise money, and the bingo goes back up, and supplies probably 3/4 of it, maybe 4/5 of all the money. And and that allows it to be able to operate. And what we do is we rent the club out, so that people can come in here and hold events. And as far as knowing about benefits of being in the club, there are a number of benefits. Like I'm going to be in charge of a garage sale that we do on the first Saturday in October and the first Saturday in February, and you will be able to get a reduced rate for getting tables if you want to go sell there, and it draws a pretty big crowd, and so that's a pretty nice benefit. We also go back up in March. We have a membership dinner, and that membership dinner is equivalent to the $20 that you pay for membership if you get to go to that free. And we hold it over and there's a buffet over in Port Orchard that we hold it at. So that, and then what we do is we have a holiday dinner. Yeah, that's right. It's very good. China Sun. Yeah, that's right. It's just a little bit further beyond Walmart's at. So it's on the same center, same road.
I used to work. Now I work for you.
But then that is something that's a benefit of it. And we also, once we can get this situation where we can start meeting again, but I'm gonna try to push, getting out of the Zoom world, getting into the, real world. Somebody's got problems, so they can go set off by themselves, but what it do, we always have at the meeting, we would always get somebody would bring, a dessert, and we'd have the dessert, right? So that would be something we'd always do, and then always have a drawing, to go back up and see who was drawing for $25. So if you're a member, you're putting that pool for drawing for that $25. And and then like I said, we got that dinner for the for the holiday dinner. We we usually go back up and put the money, everybody put some money in or whatever it costs. And it's like, I think last year we paid $10 to, for we're gonna come to the dinner. And, that kind of, we actually, that's another thing that we have. And, and then we always get up in Christmas and in December, we will, decorate the club. Gotta put the Christmas decorations up. You want, yeah, you want, and that's what you really want to do there. And that's what I want to try to get back to, where everybody knows everybody's name. Know who it's going to be, and you kind of come here. Makes it really easy for everybody to go do that. And and the club membership has been up, it's been down. I think it's probably in about the middle right now. It's I think we had about the last meeting, if I remember right, it was about 100. Yeah. That was about what it was last. Let's see, I think about 3 or 4 years. Rex has been president for 3 or 4 years.
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
President for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so, and his wife has been president for several years. Because it's a hard thing, is you gotta get somebody to go do that. And, and that's the hard thing to keep the organization going. Because, you have to have 4 or 5 officers, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. I guess it's actually 4 officers. And then we're trying to, one of the changes we're going to do is reduce the number of board members down to 3. So you have 7 volunteer positions that you have to fill, and they go back up and they vote on, what we're doing, and pretty well everything is controlled by our bylaws. So there's nothing else can be done, because what happens, a lot of organizations have gotten stolen from because of, nobody oversighting them. So, that's what those 7 people were, used to be 9 people, but the 7 people are supposed to watch to make sure there's nothing in the May report at the monthly meeting. So how much money they got, and you can see, what's going on, to see if, there's any try to prevent any theft, because there have been many organizations that have gotten theft money stolen from them. The VFW over in East Bremerton had a whole bunch of money stolen from them, and they had to sell the VFW over there. There was a PTA organization, and I believe a naval school that had money, misappropriated. And we use the word stolen, but misappropriated. And so what you have to do is you got to watch out, and if the organization were to ever, not be able to continue on the operation, then what they have to do is they have to sell the building and give away the assets. What they have to do.
After finding a light bulb, so I could see where I could open the combination on the lock in there.
Yeah, they could open up the vault.
Did you succeed?
Huh?
Did
Yes.
you succeed?
Yeah, I got overdue. Look, they got
Big one.
250 foot of.
Well, it looks like you got us organized.
Sally, Teresa Philhauser, Cheryl Elstran, Matthew Barrett, Kayla Sullivan, Chandra Kay. So that's like our
Pretty
board.
impressive. Pretty impressive.
We have quorum.
Yeah, we have a quorum.
Will we
Okay.
call to order Matthew Barrett? I don't think we've.
Yeah, I'm
officially-
trying to log in as host and it's not letting me do it. So yes, call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Meeting is
Pledge
called to
allegiance.
order at 7 o'clock.
We can say the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right. You have a flag there.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right. Susie, will you lead us in the pledge?
Okay. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I'm not able to share my screen, but I can pull up the agenda. So let's see. Let's get a roll call of our officers. President Matthew Barrett here. Vice President Chandra Kay is not here. Treasurer Brandy Wallace,
She's
not here. Secretary Kayla Sullivan. She in the Zoom? Thought she'd be in the Zoom. Oh, yeah, there she is. She mentioned, she spoke up in the chat.
Okay.
All right, board member Sally Gill,
Waving.
Waving, she's there.
Here.
all right, Ashley Bridges. Susie Mapes,
I'm here.
Cheryl Elstrin.
Here,
All right, that's 5 officers. Our 8-member board. And by way of members, who will we got?
Members?
John
We've
Becker.
got Rex,
Greg Mitchell. Rex Townsend.
Craig Mitchell,
Jessica Knapp, brand new. They got that.
There's 7 of us here.
all right. I didn't hear everybody. Let's see here.
But we have a sign in.
Okay, good. Yeah, get that to the secretary later. She'll be able to put all of that in. So this meeting is probably going to be very brief. Most of the reports would be from our executive director who had an emergency, is not able to make it. Which is, I suppose, fitting that it's going to be that short because it started so late. So we also weren't able to get the minutes out. But that is tabled for the board meeting. Well, I guess we need a motion to table.
I move we dispense with reading the minutes until the secretary is available.
All right, we have a motion.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yes, much better.
Okay, perfect.
Somebody's here.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple ones that-
Great. And let's have reading of communications. Does anyone have any communications to share? All right. Report of committees. Membership committee. This is Kayla Sullivan and Chandra. Oh, one of them's here. Kayla, do you have anything to report on the membership? Are you speaking? We can't hear you.
Yes. We have a new member that needs to be voted in. Matt. Jessica Knapp. I
We have a
move
new
that-
member to vote in.
Yeah, I move we accept her as a new member.
Who's that?
It's John Becker and there's
Okay.
Jessica Knapp.
Hi.
No, I'm asking who the new member is.
Jessica Knapp.
Knapp.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed.
Anyone opposed? Welcome, Jessica.
He's past the first.
Yay.
Pardon the mess. It isn't always this chaotic. Sometimes it's worse.
Oh, well, that's nice to know. Kayla Sullivan says nothing else to report as far as she knows.
All right. Thank you. And our finance chair is also absent. Bingo, do we have a report?
Teresa Philhauser.
She comes.
Philhauser.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are. We can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, okay, for July, we've had, our total deposits was $14,471. The Dauber sales was $286.50, and total people for the month was 634.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Teresa, what was the total from last month?
All right.
Teresa, we had a question of how much was the total for last month? People.
I'm not sure. I didn't have that number, but I can get those numbers to you.
You just gave them
Yeah.
600 some people.
634, I thought you said. but-
Yeah.
Oh, for last month, yeah. 634 for July.
All right. Any other questions for our bingo manager? Teresa, thank you for everything you do for this club. Moving on to building improvement, our executive director is here. Events and entertainment, our executive director isn't here, but we do have some other people who participated in the marketplace event yesterday and the day before, August 5th and 6th. Speaking of new members, somebody just joined the chat. Who's that?
I think Chandra just joined.
Oh, hello, Chandra. Chandra,
Yes, I'm here.
Chandra, like chandelier.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right, well, so let's see, Chandra, if you want to compose your notes, have your report in just a bit on the building improvements and events and entertainment. We're going to hear specifically from the people who participated in the marketplace event. Would anybody like to speak up and talk about your experience past couple days?
Apologize for my voice. It's almost completely shot. This weekend we probably did more on advertising than we have in the previous events, but we still do not get the patronage that we need in order to make it successful. We had advertised in the Kitsap Sun, Facebook, Craigslist, Nextdoor. We had flyers, we had signs. But the people just don't really show up for these events. And we are trying to alter some of the future events. For example, one of the things that we had considered doing is no longer doing events on Sundays. The events on Sundays is just consistently dead zone. So we considered either doing a Friday, Saturday, or just a Saturday event to see how that works. We're also going to be trying different publicity options, including, you know, trying to find more bulletin boards and other nonprofits to work with. We had we were supposed to have a total of 15 tables sold, and we had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 less than that. That people did not show the day of the event. So this one was a quieter event. But yeah, so that's basically how it went this round.
I'm about to quit.
Sally, did you have something to contribute?
No, I'm fine. I wasn't able to do it this weekend.
Oh, okay. Anybody else want to speak up on your experience?
This is Susan. I was there. I purchased a couple of tables. Yeah, I think that we're making some headway in just trying to figure out how to get the community back and interested in coming to the improvement center. I mean, I think that's the biggest challenge first is to get the community and the public to know that you're there and you exist. I think the event itself personally it's a lot of fun. I mean, I know that people don't show up, and it's dwindled since I started a few years back, but I want to continue to support it and, you know, go get to the events when I can. But I really, the focus has to be on letting the community and the public know that you're there, not just for these type of events, but just in general. You're kind of tucked away there, you know, but the event itself was well run. I think everybody that was there enjoyed themselves, certainly. But the bigger hill to climb is just getting the name out there of the improvement center.
Thank you for that. Anybody else?
Yeah,
I think the upcoming rummage sale is that's usually a big draw. And we draw probably, I'm gonna guess maybe 1,000 people during that. And I think that's something that has been very well received and if nobody else is gonna, I will definitely go run it again this year. But we got to change. I talked to Chandra about the times that she sent out on this was incorrect on the value pack times. it should be, the value pack time should say 9 to 3, and she made it 8 to 4. So we need to get that corrected. And, you know, and I think that will draw, it draws a lot of people in. There's a lot of people come over here to, you know, buy, sell, and otherwise enjoy themselves. And I think that's something that's real beneficial. And, you know, because the club's got to get people in to see it, just like that you're saying here. It's got to have people here to see it.
Okay, this is Cheryl. Can I add a word? Well, I do resale in antiques and vintage, and I used to come to the sales here way before I belonged. But one thing, August is one of the worst months for sales because usually it's hot. I mean, I know where I almost had a heat stroke out in one of the sales in the lots. And so the time of the year, plus people are starting to switch to vacation times for the family, tons of sales and community sales. And also in the advertising, because I used to go out all the time, I look more, I used to go to Craigslist, but I look at the local garage and other sale posts, and they have other kinds of sites where you can leave an ad about your event. Because if you're relying on paper things and signs and stuff, I think we have to be sure to expand. And I'm not sure how much of that was done. But I'm seeing those kind of things in events. There's places for events all over the place. And we may not have really pursued that much. The other thing is wording. I know we have the rummage sale February and October, but it's how you word it. You know, is it going to be like a community sale? I can't quite remember what the title is. If you use the word vendor in there or something, that can be kind of a misread by people. So I can't quite remember how it was advertised. But another thing is your words, also who it's going to attract.
Very good.
On the rummage sale, we announced it as a community sale. You know, so that it includes the community of the West Side Improvement Club and other people if we have space for them.
Right, and that's different. The word rummage sale or flea market sometimes is read differently than if you have like artisan sale or other kind of things. So the wording for this kind of sale, and it was broader, I think we just need to kind of relook at that.
Okay. Let's see, anything else regarding the specific event?
So
People wanna- Go ahead.
I just wanted to respond there to Cheryl. So this is Susan. Yes, I did post to the Port Orchard garage sale events
Okay, good.
pages and that kind of stuff. And we did talk about verbiage being used to advertise events. And I think that Chandra, I know she's losing her voice, so she can pop in and correct me, but I was there at the meeting for that. So I joined the events committee to, be careful about the verbiage that you use. My personal thought is, gear it towards the community that you're in, what they understand. Not everybody knows what artisan is. I asked a couple people, what do you think? What do you think this word means? And, oh yeah, that's the water, right? So, it just goes to show you that, yes, words mean different things to different people and how they read it. But in the flyer, it did have multiple things. So it did say rummage sale, it did say vendors, it did say food, it also said artisan. But I think it could, be just stated simpler, just crafts. People know what that means. Homemade items. But I think it's going in the right direction. Chandra's got a handle on it, and she's taking all the feedback. So hopefully it'll go places. But yes, you do have to get the public in there first. Now, I was at the last rummage sale, so I have to definitely disagree. There were not 1,000 people that went through there.
No.
No. So,
Okay.
even, but it was more attended than the other events that I, have participated in.
So, yeah, definitely there's still a lot to improve on when it comes to events. We do have to move on, but I would encourage anyone who wants to be part of this
Yeah.
discussion to meet up with the events committee and join the events. So that we can have more events,
Yes.
improve on them every time.
Who says that?
So,
Join the events committee.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You're a little bit choppy, so it's hard to hear everything that you're saying, unfortunately, on our end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you'll start talking and all of a sudden it goes like really quiet.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So we
All
kind of
right,
missed
yeah.
that. Unless you guys heard it.
No,
Oh.
that's why we need no Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we had that as an option. Yeah, I am moving around. So let's see what we can do here to move on. Chandra, with her voice being almost gone, I don't know that we can have her.
Matthew, it almost sounds like your mic is either too close or it's too sensitive because we're getting a little bit of feedback.
Really?
That
Is
I
this
can hear you
different?
much, I can hear that much better.
Okay, I can hold up my mic.
Is that better for the
Okay.
rest of you guys?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So I will hold my mic up. So as I was saying, we do have to move on. But I would encourage anyone who is interested in this discussion to meet with the events committee, perhaps even gasp and horror, join the events committee so that we can have better and better events every time. And given Chandra has mostly lost her voice, I don't know that I'm going to ask her for a report on building improvement. Publicity, let's see, community development. We've got Viewpoint Park. Is there anything else on Viewpoint Park?
This is Rex Tauscher. I did take the striping paint down and paint the parking spots at the community park a week ago. And also lock the gates up at night on Tuesdays, except this last Tuesday. And,
Excellent.
And apparently they have somebody that is driving by and locking them up. I tried to lock it up at sunset, but the sun wasn't setting soon enough. But anyway,
All right.
I did that, plus I finished striping the north end or the east end of the basketball court, which I hadn't painted before. There are other lines out there that must have been for either pickleball or whatever they were using that for. I didn't have blue paint, so it still is blue. I hadn't touched that. And I finished striping yellow in front of the voters' drop box, which I hadn't, two lines I hadn't finished because I didn't have any orange paint or yellow paint.
All right.
That is done.
Well, thank you for what you did.
The other thing is I brought the compost barrel back after I cleaned it, and also the water barrel. I stuck it back in behind the building and shoveled or pitchforked the rest of the berry vines that were left at the far end of the breezeway, put them in the dumpster and swept and shoveled up the rest of the debris that was back there because it was a fire hazard.
All right. Thank you for that.
And then the old ice machine was setting out in front of the gate. So I moved it and put it in front of the water barrel in behind the building, so it wouldn't be a stumbling hazard and blocking the access to the back of the building. Anyway, also
right.
I weed whacked the area down by the old cherry tree and the garden area. I weed whacked the grass down that was where the signs had been removed. So we'd have access to putting the signs back up, and was wondering when the signs are going to be re-lettered so we can put them back up on the post down there. So
All
I guess I
right.
need to get a hold of the building committee to find out when that will happen.
Well, there currently is no building committee.
Oh,
So I believe the Boy Scouts, is that the sign that the Boy Scouts are working on?
Yes.
oh,
Okay. Do we have a report on that from our Scout BSA liaison?
He put it in his car and brought it over to the scout hall, so that's as far as I know. And then this weekend he was hiking Lower Lena, so I don't think he got it done.
Okay. All right, so stay tuned.
I was also going to put some blocks up on the signpost, so we have something to set the signs on while we bolt it to the post. But I needed to get the dimensions of the sign to figure out where to put the holding blocks on the bottom of the sign. Because otherwise you have to have 4 people down there holding it up when you're trying to bolt it back to the signpost.
It's about the
Okay.
size of the plywood, piece of plywood.
Yeah, I need to find the exact dimensions because there's probably holes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susie, do you want to exchange contact information, get Rex into that discussion with
Right.
our Scoutmaster?
Okay.
The
Thank
other
you very much.
problem I had, the gate wouldn't open going into the corner area. So the only way you could get up to the sign is to put a step ladder up from the road, and I'm not allowed to climb on the step ladder because I'm on ladder restriction. So anyway, I need to get approval to change the gate that's down there because the gate swings outward towards the cherry tree, and there was cherry saplings coming up through the ground, so you couldn't open the gate. So you need to move the gate to the other side of the clips that are on it, so you can get through it without climbing over the debris. And I don't think you can put the signs through the gate to the signpost. You have to do it from down below. So anyway, that's all I had on that. Oh, also I cut the berry vines down that were growing up from the garden area into the basketball court and pulled them back into the garden area. I did not cut them off. So the berry vines are laying on top of the brush that was left in the garden area.
All right, and on that note, oh, go ahead. You want to finish up? Okay,
That's it.
so do we have a representative from the community garden?
I'm on the group me for the community garden,
Okay,
and
did
the
they-
gate was left open. I didn't know why, nobody knew.
yeah, is the padlock missing then?
No, padlock was chained or was fastened to the gate wire in the middle of the gate, not. at
That's
the lock
interesting.
gate.
Did
I
they
happen to
ever,
have a key to the lock that goes to the outside gate going to the cherry tree. So that's the same as the lock for the breezeway in back of the building.
yes, did they ever get their chip drop delivery?
I hadn't seen it, nothing there but bees and bugs, and the straw they put down there had wheat seed or something in it, so the wheat's growing fine.
Hey, we can grow wheat. All right, so Sunshine Committee, Kayla Sullivan, anything to report there? Is that a no? Sound like a no. All right, do we have anyone representing the kitchen? All right, moving on to new business. Is there any new business?
Mr. President, I just had a question regarding the garden.
Hey, Greg, what's going on?
Well, I noticed that there was some big cylindrical logs there. Is there a purpose for those, or have those been allocated for some other project, or?
I think those are seats for the kids that were down there working on the garden. They were blocked.
But the ones on the hills,
Yeah, I don't know if those are supposed to be chairs or.
Probably. Otherwise you have to form B.
Is there a membership committee? I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can
Oh.
hear you.
I was just wondering, is there a membership committee? I mean, I was waiting for a report or something, but is there not a membership committee?
there is a membership committee. Time for that report. Well, there's two chairs of that committee. One is absent, the other's chair, nothing.
Yeah, you're breaking up. I can't hear you, Matthew.
There was a new member that was sworn in.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
no,
missed that part.
no, I was here. So who is the chair of the membership committee?
There's two chairs. It's Kayla and Chandra.
Oh, okay. Let me know when it's time. I just want to, I do have, if it's under new business, I have a suggestion for that committee.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, let's make a suggestion for that committee.
Okay, so, I've been going on and off to the bingo events. And I know there was some discussions around, offering something if a member joins, they might get, I don't know, something, a free meal, whatever. Which is great, but my suggestion is, over the course of the year that I've been there and that I've gone, I've not ever seen once a representative or anybody set up a little booth with a physical person there to get membership on bingo nights, before bingo starts, like through 30 to 6. I think that would be great if maybe every 5 months, 4 months. I mean, you can't do it every time because, they'd get sick of seeing someone, but if you do it every 4 months or so and, kind of like Costco does and offer a little something for their joining, you may get some more members, but I was kind of disappointed to see that that's when you have the most people show up at the club that nobody's ever done that. I mean, you can put signs and posters, but it means so much more to people when there's a physical being.
Yes,
A
I
person.
completely agree. I see a comment in the chat. So Chandra, being unable to speak, still dropping a lot of great stuff in the chat here. She said that we had 5 new members that Farrell signed up. Did they get voted in before I arrived? No, there was only one presented for voting. We didn't have the records for voting those 5 members in.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of correct that. So yes, they went through Farrell, but actually I was the one that they were the ladies from the Eagles Club, and I had joined the Eagles. And I had asked them, I said, you guys come to this bingo all the time with Michelle Mancini and everybody. I joined their club to support them too. I said, but you guys come to the bingo all the time. How come you've never joined the club? So then I heard that Farrell had gotten these enrollments, and I said, oh, that's interesting. So when I saw Michelle at bowling, because we bowl together, I says, hey, I heard you joined the West Side. She says, yeah, well, after you told us, it made us feel bad.
Well, I
Hey,
love it.
however you can get them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But
So,
but what I'm saying is, I mean, and and I feel bad because I don't, I taking the credit, but it's just that I've been putting it out there. But it would be nice to have somebody there at, every so many months just to, talk
yeah, well,
about
it
it.
seems like you've inspired some of our people because Shonda and Chandra have already talked about this, inspired by your example. And they are planning to do just that.
Wonderful.
This
I'm
is-
glad to hear it.
This is
And-
Rick Tauscher. And, we put these flyers out on the table by the stage, by the bingo. Why not put a flyer out for membership? Put it there and just have the bingo caller announce every evening that they have bingo, that those interested in joining the club, please pick up a membership form on the table. That way we don't have to have somebody sitting here for 5 hours before bingo to advertise for it, because you always have the same 6 people here from 2:30 to 3 o'clock.
Well, no, then no.
You want the personal contact, huh?
Well, and people it relate to that better. I mean, than a piece of paper. They usually fling that in the trash. But it's
It's there
also,
to take, though. They don't have to take it and
Well-
throw it in the trash if they don't want to join.
yeah,
we-
well,
Give
we
it to
can leave
somebody
that.
walking in, they'll automatically throw it in the garbage.
We
Yeah,
can
well-
leave that to the bingo and the executive director. It sounds like
Breaking up.
we have
You're
people.
breaking up.
It sounds like we have people who don't consider it an inconvenience to go there physically and sit there. And so we'll leave it to them. If they don't have it inconvenient, then we'll just let them do it.
Well, Chandra
Yeah.
brought up a very, very good idea, and that's, using our membership card to get a 5 or 10% discount on the food that they buy. And if you do that, we've got that little barcode in the back of it. It's very easy to go back up and, use that card and have a discount on it. And she was going to get that all implemented. And there's a dollar off also on the value pack for the, for members that join to take it to value, and $1 off of one of the meals.
Yeah.
and then another thing for membership, and I did mention it to Chandra this weekend is, when you do have the events for vendors and stuff, maybe you could put that as a perk and just say, members get an early sign up before, it goes out to the public vendors. So, just, it's a
Sure.
perk, it's just
Well,
something else
definitely.
to add to the list of benefits.
Yeah, the bingo committee, the bingo staff are always looking for different incentives, and so are the events people. So all of those are welcome. Let's see here what's next.
Mr. President, more bingo comment.
Yes, go ahead, Greg.
I like Rex's idea, and if you throw in a free dauber when they announce bingo, just say, tonight, we're giving away a free dauber if you join the club tonight, that type of thing. I don't know if that's a bargaining chip, if they're expense, they can write off as an expense or not, but just a
Sure.
suggestion, another term.
Well, so there's something else for our bingo folks who are attending this, so they can take that
It's a
suggestion.
no-brainer, just scans.
So anything else for new business?
Mr. President, another comment from Greg.
Go ahead.
I know, I'm probably the only one that really cares about this, but I'm gonna say this. The last 3 out of the 4 months, we have not had snacks. And,
Yeah.
I just don't know how come. I mean, people.
We had snacks
people
last
volunteer
month.
to bring snacks, and yet they don't bring them. So, I mean, what do we do? Do we need to remind them somehow? or-
Juanita's got something.
Normally, we don't have meetings in July and August, so Rich and I did stacks for September.
Nice.
Yeah, good.
So we don't normally have a meeting in July and
Yeah.
August, so that's why we don't have a meeting today.
I have a box of oatmeal bars on the seat of my car. I'll bring those in tonight. That's because nobody showed up for horseshoe pitching on Saturday at the fairgrounds.
So we can sign up at each meeting, we usually do that.
See how many
I'm
bars
just
they
saying,
got.
that people have volunteered for the next month after the meeting, and they haven't delivered.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I mean, it's. if
Well,
you- if you're
as
not gonna
far as
bring
I
it-
understand, that's only happened once. The
no,
last
not
meeting that
just one.
but the membership meetings do. And as to my recollection, the last membership meeting there at the club, there were snacks.
I think Chandler brought them.
Case,
I think she did.
Yeah, I brought snacks.
yeah,
I brought snacks last year or last month. Brandy was going to be bringing snacks this month, but she didn't realize it was her mother's birthday.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way.
So,
happy
yeah.
birthday.
So, but it's something we will watch out for. And if people need reminders, we'll remind them. We'll just keep having people sign up. And, you know, I'm not sure what else to do except remind them.
Rex brought snacks.
Thank you, Rex,
No horseshoe.
our
pitching.
pinch hitter.
I'm good on mine.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else as far as new business?
Yeah, this is Cheryl. Can I add something about snacks? I know
Go
in the
ahead.
past, we used to do like an annual list for the general meetings and people would sign up usually at the beginning of the year. And so we had everyone's name recorded. And of course, if you were going to be gone or something, you got a substitute. But then in the minutes that were for the meeting, for example, and if the copies are going out to members and everything, it stated for the next meeting who was to bring the snacks. It's kind of like a way to remind the person, and hopefully that works. But we'll have like a master list, and so that might be kind of a memory aid or jogger, just something to consider.
I know it's a small incentive for people to show up for the meeting, but it's an incentive.
I
Yeah.
agree, definitely.
More important than just having a snack, I mean.
Yes,
Right.
If you're on Facebook or otherwise, you don't get any snacks because you're at home having snacks from your own refrigerator.
is there anything else for new business?
I do have a question. I thought
Juanita.
Go
has a
ahead.
question.
I thought we were supposed to be here to pass a thing so they could be, Brandy could cash out a CD.
That's where I was going next. Yes, that's one of the things I was going to bring up. I would hope that Brandy was going to be here today. But one of the things we've got the taxes coming up. And there's currently not enough money to cover the taxes. And we have a CD that is coming to maturity. I believe she said September 1st. And we were going to, I was see about cashing one of those out and depositing it into the account to cover those expenses. But Brandy was
Right.
not here. I don't, yeah, so I don't know if we can do that without her or if,
I take it that there's
Well, we
not
can
enough
certainly-
money in the bingo account to transfer.
correct.
All right.
We can certainly move to give her permission to do that, and then it's still up to her whether or not it's necessary.
Well, it's emergent. You have to cover your bills. And before we didn't have meetings in July and August. And then you had that minor budget for bona fide emergencies, or if you have something come up a general meeting, they can decide if it's emergent or not. But one of the things, the purpose of having some money is that you have to cover your bills, and taxes are certainly a bill.
Yes.
The emergency funds that were set up and originally was for the 2 months that we don't
Mhm.
have general meeting. This
Right.
year, we've had a general meeting each month, so we have no need to hold the limits for the monies on the summertime monies. We can do
No.
whatever we need to do to keep us solvent and
Right,
being able to
okay.
pay our bills.
Yeah, well, the change
Yeah.
was just rather short notice on going to the other meetings, but I would agree, you have to have the doors open.
Okay. Is that a motion?
I think give her permission to.
Yes,
take
I'd
the
like to make a
CD.
motion that we allow our treasurer to cash in the newest matured CD to cover expenses and debts in our general and bingo accounts.
Just an addition to that, we need to make sure that the CD is matured so we don't have to pay a 2-month
Yes,
penalty.
it matures
the
on
income.
September 1st.
Yeah, that was already included,
Okay.
so.
Is
All
there
right, we
enough
have a
money in
motion?
that Is there enough money in that CD to pay the taxes?
Yes.
Well, one thing we need to get on the taxes, we've brought this up and Randy was gonna go check it out. Because we have the authority to become a nonprofit and drop our taxes way down. And it just needs to have our treasurer or our secretary, our treasurer to go over with the county and get it set up as a nonprofit.
I think the taxes we're looking, that's not property tax, or is that income tax? That should be income tax because that's due this month, I believe.
The property tax is due to the 15th of October.
We have a motion on the table.
No second.
So you're saying that we are registered, you're saying that we're registered with the IRS as a nonprofit, but not with the county?
That's correct.
That's correct.
The property taxes, which I brought up about a year ago, I looked at Sunny Slope is registered as a nonprofit. They have their taxes at probably almost half or less than half of what we have, percentage wise. And, and I spoke with Brandy about it. She said she was going to get with the Sunny Slope and see what they did and go get ours the same way because it'll cut our taxes down. I think it was almost like $2,000 or $1,500 a year.
I believe we are registered with the state of Washington as a nonprofit, but probably not the county. And there's two different entities because the county takes care of property taxes and personal property and real property. So anyway, the vote was on the floor, approved.
It was
to
never
have her-
seconded.
It was never seconded. Is anyone going to second?
I'll second it and approve it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I think we need to look at the financial, sit down with Brandy and look at the financials before we make a final decision.
All right, so
As to
That's
why are we running in the red on both?
that's happening next Monday at 6.
Right.
I still think that even as we need to figure out the exact whys, we need to make sure that there's money in to cover us for now and then go into all that as well at the next finance meeting. So I would say an emergency order just to make sure that she's covered and that all the bills are covered should be in place.
I'm going to bring up another point. I think that we should always have a treasurer report, even if the treasurer is not here, because that's what happens with organizations that are falling apart. The treasurer doesn't have to be here, but the treasurer needs to file a report saying, this is how much we got. These are the bills coming up this next month. This is what I'm doing. And even if the treasurer is not here, it needs to be filed so the rest of the rest of the club can recognize what's going on. That is one of the most important things, is having the treasurer have a report given about where the money is and what the upcoming bills are.
Agreed. Any further discussion, or are we calling the question? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nay.
It sounded like there was only one nay. Is that correct? All right. The nays are welcome to file a minority report. But Brandy has permission to cash out one CD if the situation calls for it. Motion carries. As far as anything else on the docket for today, I believe we were supposed to be, we still don't have our bylaws rewritten. We've been talking about that for a couple of months.
I think we should set up a meeting date and give people a specific date that we're gonna be working on it like we did the last time. And just go through it and then get it approved and approved again as the bylaws require currently. But we need to actually set up a date and have people show up.
All right.
This is Rex Toucher again. We did not receive a meeting notice for tonight's meeting. If we get another meeting notice for all club members, it needs to go out about 4 to 5 days before the meeting date, so that everybody is aware that we're holding it, and preferably in person. The Facebook stuff isn't handling it very well.
Zoom.
Or Zoom, excuse me. No other comment.
Well, some of us are out of town, so this is the only way we could be involved. But majority of the time, a lot of us will try and make it.
That's why we only have 4 or 5 people here at any time. Out of 100 members or whatever we've got now.
Are we still sending out the general meeting paper in the mail? Or is it just via email?
Or Zoom or whatever.
Well, that's something else, because you need to go back up and report at least the fiscal element of our, club. Because if we don't know if it's a club going backwards, staying the same, or going ahead. And unless we can get a report, you're not going to be able to tell that until we are going under. So we need to go back up and have that report, come out in September, of where at least the financial report comes out in September.
And that's part of the reason I voted no to the, doing the CD until we know more.
Well, the board's going to meet, so the board can go ask all those questions.
Right.
And unfortunately, our treasurer couldn't be here today to speak to that, so it makes it very difficult to have, but we did have these conversations in the finance meeting group. And she let us know that that was an option, but yes, I do, I do fully agree that we need to get our reporting system to be a little more fluid and accessible to everyone. Juanita, in order to answer your question, you were asking about the slips. We were sending everything as far as last month's meeting minutes through email. I was not aware that they ever sent the meeting minutes through the mail in the past.
No, I'm talking about the general meeting, just like heads up on what's going on.
A
Like the-
newsletter.
Yeah, the
The
letter.
newsletter?
We have not had a newsletter in a while.
That's why I'm saying, are we gonna, have we stopped it completely?
No, it's been in progress. It's just been a lot with the transition. The last newsletter we had, I believe, is still on the bulletin board.
Yeah,
But that is something that will be going out soon. It's been in progress, so, and that's been on me.
One thing is this, Cheryl, the reality is we don't have enough people to do all of the work. And, you know, Chandra has taken on some membership duty, club duty, you know, a lot of different things. She's wearing a lot of hats and you just can't do it all. And that's what we're seeing, declining membership. Not a lot of people volunteering for things. This is what happened prior to COVID. There were fewer and fewer people doing work, but they came for the perks. And so this is another thing that we may need to rethink about, because after a while, people are just going to burn out. And, you know, I'd hate to see something happen to the club because of that, because we have a lot of creative and good people. But that's the reality. It's fine to join, fine to get perks, but to be an active member means that you show up and do things. And we're not asking you to put in 40 hours a week, but it's going to die if we don't do that.
Say amen to that.
Mhm.
so in the chat, catching up here, we've got 5 members that we need to read in. Catching up on the membership stuff.
Mhm.
So those new members, we've got Michelle Minichi, Mary Broa, Helen Yan, Rosalind Hagee, and Ruth Ann Langkamp. All in favor of accepting these members in full fellowship? Do so
Aye.
by the, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
2 comments on the membership.
Yes, Greg.
The first comment is, do we ever ask for bios on new members? I guess I want to know who's joined the club and I don't know, maybe what they're going to offer to the club, or I don't know what kind of questions to ask, you know, that wouldn't be invasive, but, or even whatever the word is, but
Maybe whether they play a musical instrument.
And then the other comment was, I want to make sure that these new people, these new members are on the Wheel of Fortune. This meeting.
Definitely. The new members should be on the Wheel of Fortune, and I believe the way
Did
that
I actually just went through the Wheel of Fortune and adjusted it as we were talking. So the new members have been added now that they've been voted in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra.
Got Jessica
And
on there?
also, yes, to answer your, sorry, to answer, to answer your question, yes, when they sign up, we give them a form that basically gets their basic information. And then we ask them what part of the club they would like to be the most involved in, and things like that, so that we can get a better idea of where they would fit with our committees and our plans.
Thank you. How do I access that information?
Yeah, I didn't actually get that information. I
Is
can
see
the,
that.
message her.
is the
No
membership
idea.
form up here that we can give our new members?
I believe there are some printed out. Let me, they were in the office. Jessica, did you join as a member? I didn't.
Yeah, I met with you on Saturday, Chandra, and I spoke with you and you told me to just come today to be able to attend our first meeting. So I'm not really sure if there was paperwork. I didn't have anything.
Oh, yeah,
Wait a
so
second.
what you and I had talked about was was volunteering. And so we had talked about, you know, potentially going as a member, but we hadn't actually confirmed if that was something you want, the route you wanted to go with. So I can definitely send you, apologize. I could definitely send you the information. I got your message here through GroupMe. And so I can send you the sign up information, or you can also meet with Matthew, and Matthew can get you signed up before you leave today. And I can make sure he has everything he needs to do that for you.
Well, I'm not at the club.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's-
right, sorry.
there.
All right.
And just one follow-up comment. The reason for the bio is the whole idea of community and having a club is to connect with kindred spirits and mutual interest. And I guess I feel like I'm falling through the cracks, and I've tried to be as active as I possibly can, and yet I still feel like I'm wanting. And I want to be able to connect. I want to be able to give, but there's not an avenue there for me to connect with people. I don't know. So I think we just need to work on that. I know that's a
Yeah.
future down the line, but we need to
One
be-
thing, one thing, Greg, that I think that's a good idea, but is it possible on a voluntary basis, like if we're doing the newsletter, if we have some new members and if they consent to it, we can do a little write-up about them in the newsletter? Would that be satisfactory?
That'd be great. I would like to read something like that. Yes. And maybe even a contact number, you know, if people aren't, you know, too private, you know, that they can't share a phone number or an email. But I want to be able to mingle a little bit more with, again, my interest, my kindred spirits out there. There should be an avenue for that. The club is, I think that might be why it's dying. I know COVID took a smack down on closeness, or whatever you want to call it, but we should try to recapture that
I
feeling.
think we should get back to in-person meetings,
Mhm.
because that's the way the organization gets stronger and better, through in-person meetings.
That's what I wanted to tell you.
Well, and I would add on to that, that not just the meetings, but also to show up at events. Even if you are not vending, come and support the vendors who are. Come and, you know, help advertise, come and participate in the events that are happening. Because right now, currently, that is the only way that you're going to be able to, besides the membership meeting, which is hit or miss on who shows up. Is, you know, like Greg was there this weekend. He was, you know, playing music out in the parking lot. And, you know, it was, he has always made an effort to show up and has always made an effort to participate, but he's one of the few. A lot of the people who come to the meetings don't come to the events either. And whether or not you're actually buying anything or anything, just sharing the events, talking to your friends about them, showing up to mingle. That was one of the things that with these events, the mostly women who are involved, we're all having an amazing time, and we're getting that socialization and all that there at the events. But if people don't show, there's no way of actually getting that side of things. So more than just I guess my point is more than just showing up at the meetings to say what's wrong with everything. Show up at the events, show up at the committee meetings, and be a part of the change.
Yeah.
We definitely have to have a schedule of committee meetings. Like I say, I need to talk with the people from Garden Committee and also probably Building Committee.
And currently there is not a building committee. We don't have anybody to sign up to be involved. So our only,
I've been involved, but I've been working only on cool days when I can be up here and the heat doesn't get to me.
and completely understandable. And that is, you know, that is how it tends to go. But there's not going to be any meetings if there's not people who are willing to attend. And that's where we're at right now is we have 91 members, I believe, and only handful are actually showing up at the events. and showing up at the meetings. So we have our events meetings the last Monday of every month. And it has been, there's been a couple times where it's fallen through the cracks, don't get me wrong. But it's a matter of trying to get everybody together at the same time, and the more people who are showing up, the farther we can get. But
What
we've
is
actually
the
got to get
time on that Wednesday meeting?
Monday,
I mean, what?
the,
Monday,
so events can,
last Monday of every month at 6:30.
6:30. Last Monday.
I was here last.
So, and until we can get more people to actually commit to those particular committees, a lot of our committees do not have a committee. There is no active committee because there is not enough people participating. And so we are at the point where the handful of same people are doing the same, they're doing everything they can, but we can't rely on everybody else to do it for us. And then, so that's where it comes down to.
I see a comment here in the chat. Oh, that's the Google document.
Yes, so I did put the Google Documents for the membership information and the welcome information that we get, I send to our new members. I send this via email, and then if they supplied their address, I send it into their snail mail as well. So but then that all relies on who fills it out as well, because a lot of people will fill out just the very basic information and nothing more. So we work with what we have, but definitely we need more hands on deck in order to make it successful. Sorry.
All right. Back to the issue of bylaws. Do we have a date that we want to put on for that? When is a good date to have a bylaws committee meet?
Let me pull up the calendar and I can see what I can do. I would like to get these completed and in whole before the end of the year. So if we could have our first meeting
Don't the changes to the bylaws have to be read twice at least and voted
Yes.
on the third time?
At a general meeting.
Yes.
and that's why I was hoping if we can get the meeting done in September, October, November, December would be able to make it official before January.
Yep.
If we can, how does Friday, September 8th work? Anybody who wants to participate? Mondays are getting kind of full in September.
So Friday at 6:30?
Yep, Friday, 6:30, September 8th.
December?
September.
September 8th.
There's no rentals or anything like that day, is there?
No, there's not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
What
put it on
time
the
again?
calendar, and I will also send notice out into the mail unless anybody has any objections.
Well,
What-
sounds
what-
good to me.
What time? What time on the 8th?
6:30.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Okay, sorry.
There it is. I see it.
PM, not AM.
Did we have a bylaws meeting on June 5th?
No,
No.
I think we talked about it.
They didn't have the bylaws drafted up yet. Nothing to discuss. That's what they have to do.
okay, and anybody
Oh, I
who
think that was on the
interested
agenda.
in doing it, we've got it on the calendar now. If you want to participate, we invite you to join in so that we can get this done before the end of the year.
I think,
I have a comment.
Greg's got a comment.
Go ahead.
I would like to know when the next big event for the club is.
The next one, and that's funny because I just posted a thing about that too. The next one, we have our Harvest Tea Party, and that is the first Saturday of September from 2 to 4.
Here. Pass
Yeah,
it
I
down,
remember looking at it.
pass it down so Greg can get it.
Okay.
I
Right,
definitely wanna be
right
involved
from
with
Valley
that.
Path.
That would be the second.
Alice in
Okay.
Wonderland's Tea
The
Party
comment
in
that I would
April.
make I would like
It's a
to set
Mother's
up
Day.
my little music stand again for that event. And with that, I would like to set up a little booth with our little brochures for the club.
That'd be
And
great.
when I
We'd love to
get-
have you.
And when I get people to make a comment, or when they come by to do whatever, I would like to be able to say, this is what the club's all about. And here's a brochure. You guys should join.
Absolutely.
It would be a good, easy opportunity for sharing the club. And I had a blast. I didn't have very many people show up, but I had a blast. And it's a great location for a music stand. I mean,
Mhm.
for a music venue. And I would like to do that again.
Sure.
at The September thing, so, and the October thing, whatever. So, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
try to get my
October,
friends
so
next time. So anyway,
It's always first Saturdays, our events. We use the club.
I posted on the bulletin board a a page that has the events that have been scheduled until the end of the year. But has been the first Saturday of each month. So the next one we have is the Harvest Tea Party, and then after that is the rummage sale. Then it's our holiday bazaar, and then it is our holiday meal.
There it is.
What about trunk and treat in the
Oh,
haunted house?
yes, I apologize. Yes, the trunk or treat. I don't, I believe they're doing that on Halloween day, but that's also a bingo day. So I will double check with Farrell on that. But the haunt is going to be on the 21st and the 22nd. Sorry, my voice is going. The 21st and the 22nd of October, and we do need volunteers, and especially for the trunk or treat. So anybody who's interested in volunteering, please join us at the events committee meeting the last Monday of each month at 6:30, and that is in person at the club.
Xerox machine.
I don't trust.
Yeah,
that
it's
Xerox machine.
Last year, the bingo ladies that play, they donated a bag of candy, and so we had so much candy, so much candy.
And we had a lot of turnout, so
There was so much candy.
are we ready for the Wheel of Fortune?
Go for it.
Matthew, are you able to?
If you're
is he still
attending, you enter a chance to win $25. And you can offer to put it towards like the
I
garden.
can't
or
share
event
screen.
or-
I'm not the host.
we didn't get an answer.
Okay, I will just I will run it and we'll see what we get.
Pass me that. Got it back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
We might want the dollar off the bingo.
yeah. Huh.
Megan Ziegler. Megan Ziegler was the first name, and she's not present, so we will roll spin again. Oops. Barbara Wetmore. Barbara Wetmore is not here, and we'll do our last spin. Millie Becker. So no winner this time.
I will tell my wife that she didn't win.
Thank you.
So that means next month it's $50
Correct.
because I won 50 last month.
Wow.
Do
I
we
was
have
fortunate.
anybody that signed up for next month?
Yes, Rich and I.
Perfect. Thank you,
For
Juanita.
September.
Yeah, what is the date for the meeting in October? The first Monday?
It is, the first Monday is the second.
Okay, I'll take that one because my birthday is the 3rd and I've always brought treats to kind of
Oh.
celebrate ahead.
Perfect.
Okay.
So one last question. Since Labor Day's on the 4th, it's gonna be the following weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's
We used to do it the weekend, this Monday after Labor Day.
so it would be
Right.
September 11th.
Yes.
I will adjust that now.
Okay.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I
aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, means orange. So where do you do your veterinary clinic work at?
At
the specialty center, I just started
in
oncology.
All of you that
So I
are
work
aware
with
of
cancer patients.
the plan that we're putting in
Cancer
a
animals, huh?
biodiesel
Yeah,
facility up
I've
on
been there
Winter
since
Road
March.
at the old rock quarry. Puget Sound Energy
Thank
is
you for setting that
putting the
up.
bill for it. We're gonna
Running
put in
here, hold on.
storage.
What is the one? Okay, the second. Okay, my birthday's on the 3rd, so I usually do the first one in October, so I'll bring the treats, celebrate early. Okay.